a little loud. What if I can lower the volume? I can't figure out how to lower that volume of that stupid thing. Because that's how it goes. Hey, Sorrow. When I have a stream that only has sorrow, I'm very sorrowful. That's just bad joke. Whoa. We've got Tech Workbench. We've got Sorrow. Long time no see. Yeah, that's a blast from the past. Blast. You must have had a different name before. Did you have? You haven't always had the same name, have you? No, there's no way. You were talking about Jammy Jams? You asked if I 3D printed any of my models back in 2021? It's been a hot minute. If it's only me, you're sad, sorrowful. I mean, unless I'm saying your name wrong. Pretend I didn't show up. Just go to sleep well, randomness. You know, if I ever do this stuff full time, I wonder if I should stream during the day. I'm not totally certain that I would be more effective at getting work done. Although, if I stream during the day, I think it would almost necessitate, like it would force me to do more work while I streamed rather than talk, because it happens so frequently. I don't know. We'll find out, because you know what I'm going to do tonight? I'm going to make choices. I'm going to make so many choices. So when we last saw our Motzi, I was working on character movements, and I'm gonna take a moment and explain. You get used to it. Have you always been Tech Workbench? Has it really been your name? I feel like we changed it too. I have so many messages from you. It had to have been a different name, right? And then you changed it once, and I'm like, that time you said I was getting out of control. You're Canadian. I hate it when people change their names. Because I vaguely recall the name change. I'm like, oh, I know you somehow. I've tried to use this account. I only use my personal from time to time. Well, you've used this one for a while. I'm gonna like have to go stalk you for a bit. You're in Vancouver. There's a lot of people in Vancouver. I mean, I have the whole like message history here. So, I mean, I can find out. You had languages. You were talking about protecting your members. People sucking your blood. Told me I wasn't stream friendly because we were talking about sausages. Come on. Tell me about Blender. Your name was not Tech Work. No way. You're gonna make me sit here and read all of your previous messages to me. Send me that information so I can look into your tool when I have the time. Okay, that means you must be in my Discord. Except you don't have the same name. I'm not reading chat anymore. I'm just looking at the past. You're missing the character long girly hair. You were there for the storytelling? Oh, you're like from the past. You were training for things? Boot camps? You were in school at some point? Ah. No, you were talking to somebody else. You were talking to Jedi Master once. I'm not reading chat. I don't care if you even answered my question. Now I'm just reading this history. That's what I'm doing. I'm not even telling people what I'm reading. We were talking about sealed classes. You asked me about like what plugin I installed. Wait. They pushed me to work with Node.js. Oh no. Wait, this is so... Okay, you knew Shadow. What would the Terminator be called in his retirement? The X-Terminator? Wow. This is like the history of the world. Vancouver, British Columbia. You knew D Sonata. You had some agency. You might have had a promotion coming. Are you... all I see from that message you just sent is the number 2007. Because I can't I can't see the rest because this window's in the way. Oh, there we go. I haven't talked about sausages. You've been in the industry. Yeah, but you haven't had this name the whole time. You had a different name before. You haven't always been Tech Workbench, have you? No way. Maybe you have. Maybe you've just popped in from time to time. Who cares about working right now? I just want to find out who you are. That's what my whole goal is now. Why was the color green notoriously single? It was always so jaded. You were very interested in my save data system. And we talked, you had sushi once and you went to bed. That was good. I guess it was for some July thing. You said goodnight, Motzi, once? I mean? You want to know about my experience? So I told you about it. You knew Ryan. You, for some reason, did not know how to spell my name because you had one T and two Z's. Motzi.co instead of Motzi.co. It is the mantra. Make it work. This is my life right now. It can't have always been Tech Workbench, was it? Or did you come in as your personal account before? Tell me your secrets. Okay, never mind. I'm going to tell you my secrets. So, I've been working on a new node system. So even though the other one's still fully in use within the code, for our battle system, I needed to do some refinements to how I controlled characters. So I said, YOLO, I'm going to rebuild this. Jowar. I don't think I know that one, actually. Do I know that one? Joaor? Joaor. And I had this epiphany that I think people like Wallaber would laugh at me for. Because I spent like an entire stream working out a way to make it so this thing, the selector, this thing uses something called a target resolver. So based on context, this node, or this command, because it's a command inside of a node, would show either battle information or map information. My name is Portuguese for John. Ah, Joe. That's how I don't know. So it's Hoyo. Hoyo. I don't know how you say it because J is J in Portuguese like the Spanish J, which is more like a h sound with an h sound. And by saying John, I should know that, right? I'll be like, oh, it's John. A very common name. You've just thrown me off, Tech. You've thrown me off tonight. I was ready to dive in, and now my brain is derailed. Just totally, it's your fault, and not at all my fault. Nope. You know what? I know exactly how to solve this problem. You see, when the glasses come out, it means the Motzi starts focusing. I don't ever get distracted when I'm wearing these glasses. Kickstarter, Kickstarter. Yeah, we're doing okay. We have about 150 leads now. All we need to do is get, another 850 and we'll be set. Who's doing the capsule art? That is Moski. Moski is amazing. Here's the Kickstarter. Kickstarter. That's what we're doing. We're doing a Kickstarter. I need to go refresh the pages, I think. Because now that it's been there, I need to tweak it and see if we get better conversions. We get a lot of traffic to the page, but not as many conversions as I was hoping. Which either means that the page itself is not interesting enough, or like, why would you click on something to go to a page, but not then, sign up, give me your email address. We have 155 leads. This art here, the capsule art, is from Moski. The character art, which is, these aren't the new characters, but we're getting the pixel art redone by Wayne. Goes by Wanyo. He's really awesome. And maybe I need to make that bigger, but I mean, we need to convert. We need people to sign up. Ooh, Dashlane, touch your face. Hey, Killboy. Oh, I have to write you in my code now. Thanks for the 40 months. Well, Killboy, congratulations on finally making it into the code. I know you've been trying for a while. Thank you. Thanks, Killboy, for the 40 months of subs. That warrants comment on a random property. No, it's a field axiom. Because why not? Okay. Yes. Anyway. So I spent all this time trying to make one command handle two scenarios. And I had this epiphany of what's wrong with me. This is a problem, folks. This is a real problem. I'm going to turn on my little hand warmer. So if you guys hear it, let me know. And I'll turn it off. Makes a little like fan noise. I have a suppressor, so it should probably ignore the fan noises. Will you launch Kickstarter if you don't hit? I don't know. We'll see. Oh, Ryder has a free version. That's good. We got to hit at least 500, right? If we don't, we'll just delay the launch. We're going to launch it, I think, no matter what. But we have to decide. Because right now it's like we're targeting the 14th of January. But we really got to pick up the pace on the conversions. You don't need pre-launch information to make a decision, but pre-launch data really helps you decide whether you're going to hit your goal. And the goal we're going for, I mean, we would ideally want more than 1,000 actually, but you know how it goes. So in this move actor thing, this node can appear on nodes that are graphs that are meant for battle and graphs that are meant for like managing a map. So I had this great idea that I would encapsulate the notion of the target, as in the things that you can target with the moving actor, in something called a resolver. Then I had this epiphany that I'm an idiot, and that the reality is I should have a move, either just a generic move actor that's used on a map, and then a move battle actor, or a move map actor, move battle. Whatever the case is, I should just have a freaking command that's different. That's what I really should have done this whole time. I should have copied the entire node and then customize it for battle and customize it for maps. Why, you ask? Because the effort to manage parallel functionality in one object or class is actually more complicated and creates more opportunity for broken crap than not. So I'm an idiot. And I don't say this in a way where I feel like I'm, actually dumb or something. But I do acknowledge it from the I could make better choices sort of perspective. And so we're going to have to do this tonight. Because if I don't, because I've already had too many problems with this. That's really where it comes down to, is like I keep running into, oh, well, now I have to figure out how to do this and maintain it this way. And I just realized, like, I just signed myself up for a world of hurt. No, not really. I don't think so. I don't think interface segregation is the real problem. I mean, Tech Workbench, because you're a smarty pants, I'll explain it to you, and then you can tell me whether you think it is. It helps me. Selfishly, I'll explain it to you because really it also just helps me think through the problem and maybe answer the question. So these nodes that we're looking at on the map, this thing right here, the node is supposed to be a container for commands. I've changed fundamentally how that works. Previously, a node could have a command, but it could also execute a bunch of code. And I'm trying to segregate that piece because I see the nodes as containers of flow. And while I don't have an immediate usage of commands outside of nodes, the way I want to control the commands, I know there'll be some need occasionally for me to like have interchangeable commands, maybe use them in different places and stuff, right? So I can almost stack up a node with a couple of commands and other places use them separately. So that's at least my theory. That part of complexity is still one I'm not going to touch yet, although it's been sort of nagging at me. But the thing is that when we're in a battle, so I'll show you an example of the same node. So here's a picture of this node that has battle target current, or like I can choose a battle target that's like different options, right? And then even like, okay, now I want battle target to be something else in terms of where I'm going to send the character. And I even had something where it's like, now I went down the path of, oh, now I need to define a point that I could put somebody in battle. This is where I started realizing I was breaking the mold too badly. Is this idea that every step of the way, I'm like, oh, wait, directions in battle can't be cardinal directions based upon the map exactly. Because for a character on the right-hand side of battle, that shows as the left. So I'm going to pretend like this is right. The right, is that right? Yeah. I'm really confused looking at myself in the camera. This is my right hand, so I'm going to just use it. Character on the right hand, if I say move forward, I want them to move towards the center of battle. But a character on the left, if I say move forward, I want to move that way. So one character moves left when I say forward, and one moves right. And so I started thinking about that, and all three of these things then have customizations for battle that are different, fundamentally different. So while I could technically do have like, I could do this bit where it has direction to point whatever. Really, even though it's similar, it's different. So I don't think interface segregation works. In fact, in a way, when I was using these target resolvers, even though they're not, it's an abstract class instead of interface, it's kind of was intended to do that, where you say, okay, I don't care how you resolve this resolver thing. You just tell me what options I have available. So my idea of the resolver, and I'm not going to throw this code out. I feel like there's going to be some usage for it, but I just think this context I'm using it in is not, it doesn't make sense. So, like if I have a map target resolver, which is the thing that decides what you can target on the current map. And my battles are on the map. So you have regular map movement and battle map movement. But because the characters and the actors that, play the characters are on the map, I was like, well, why don't I just make a way I can resolve it differently based on the context? So the base target resolver returns a map character. Map characters have access to something called an actor. The actor is just a game object that actually I just recently refined to control the character on the map, which is something I did separate out of of Small Game Builder. Small Game Builder, it's very top-down control, so it controls its map characters very precisely. And I'm trying to make it so these actors on the map are first order, objects controlled by their own controller, which is a Unity model, right? Game objects kind of do a lot of stuff within themselves for themselves. So if you say this is an actor, you tell that object to do something and it does something, or the object listens for actions and you can sort of plop in events and stuff and it'll do what you want, right? That's not how Smile Game Builder works. Smile Game Builder is very much top-down controlled, and the map objects are really dumb. So a map character literally is just the data, and it's like, oh, go do this, go do that. And it's like something else is telling it to take action. So, so these resolvers are part of a command, and it's called the move actor command, which is just like a, it's an object that represents data and execution, which is one of my other problems is I very closely couple the data with execution. I really shouldn't. I like all this configuration, but like the more layers you go with Unity of like, oh, I should separate this into some kind of configuration object, it just gets slower to compile, and I've already made it slow enough. So I was like, you know what, screw it. This is sort of the way I've been doing it. So all these different things are like the specification of what I could configure on the command, and then the command executes down here. So there's like an on begin. Begin sort of sets up the movement. In this case, actually begin makes the movement start, and then the execution is just waiting until it finishes. This is it's a little bit different because originally I thought on execute would be used more, but this kind of makes sense. What if you ask ChatGPT? Yeah, Kappa. Which I did. So, theoretically, the move actor command shouldn't care about what this target is. So I could theoretically put this node on a battle graph versus a normal graph. So if I go to like, where did I have this here? System map. So I made like a sample graph for doing some of my testing. So this is the equivalent node right here on a map. This ID is just the ID of the command. I show it right now because I was trying to see if it like copy pasted properly. So you can see instead of showing a drop down of battle selection, now it has options like is player, is follower, or current target. This is actually broken. It's supposed to show you all the different map objects you could select. Excuse me. Either way, this is supposed to be a list of the objects on the map associated with the graph that you could select. So this is the resolver. The resolver works for either battle or map. don't know why that's not loading properly. That's annoying. I don't even want to deal with that right now. But you know, the problem is like I'm saying is, okay, so the resolver itself, the thing that decides what you can use, it does depend on me somehow passing in context so it knows what to load. And then based on that context, it'll say like, is it a battle or is it not a battle? Like a map target resolver. You know, we even have it in the resolver itself. It does this check. And so what happens is, I think it's on setup or setup. Yeah. Should have called it on setup, but whatever. So in the setup method, it does a couple things to set it up, and then it asks the question, are you a battle graph context container or not? And the context container holds all the different context. So it's just basically my injected container used for graphs and nodes. And so if that exists, it says it's a battle. But then everything else is just, you know, if it's that or that. If it's battle, do it that way. If it's not battle, do it that way. And I just realized, like, all I'm doing is splitting methods by essentially a Boolean. But all the code is distinctly different. It's using different ways of pulling the data. It's using a different context. Well, Tech Workbench, I thought it was very minimal. And then the more I work on this, the more I realize it's not as minimal as I thought. So and I can, I think it'll run. So I can go show you on it. I'm not going to show you battle, but I can at least show you like the map object information. So on a map, you have events. Events are the objects that represent characters and whatnot. Hopefully nothing crashes. That would be depressing. So this is, you know, this character even is a map object. And so you go into this plains north here. If I go to dynamic map, one of these stupid billboards is how do I go? Where's my scene window? Why don't I have my scene window? General. Scene. That's obscene. Okay, we'll find Atlas here in a second. I don't think can I click on him? Oh, I can click on him. Look at that. Why did it not? Oh, right. I know why, actually. So this is the weird part about the way Smile Game Builder works. This object is actually at 0, 0, 0. You can see it right there. It just draws the plane out here. Stupid, but whatever. So this is the object on the map. And I even added a map actor to it. Where's my map actor? Maybe it hasn't added yet. Because it normally doesn't have an extra object or anything. So in maps, these objects, whether they're players or like this signpost or something, anything that you can interact with is an event. And choosing to perform an action is, in Smile Game Builder, it's ingrained in that. Like those objects have events that they can trigger. So if I want to control an event, I just have to know the ID of it. And I can say, oh, here's your map object, do something. And that's it. And in Smile Game Builder, it's a one-to-one association. So if I have this signpost here, which, can I click on it? There we go. So this signpost right here, this object can have one script runner associated with it. My enhancements allow me to reference any object on the map and tell it to do things. So I could like trigger a script from here and make a tree run away or something, right? I can do whatever I want. In battle, it's all different. In battle, first off, while it's using map characters, it sets up its own objects for map battles. It uses map battle characters. And then the movement of those characters in the old system, the current system, is very rigidly restrained. It has like exactly scripted movement to move them around. And because I'm switching to doing on-map battles, because previously it would switch to a whole different map, and then the map would be, you know, the side view, sort of Final Fantasy type of view of a battle. Characters don't do melee attacks where they jump and attack, whatever. They just move forward, do their little action, move back. Monsters move forward, do the little action, move back, whatever. So the difference is like the way I focus scope in one is here's one character. I perform an action or I make a bunch of other characters move, but I discreetly tell everything to do whatever I want it to do in my graphs. So this example graph here that I have, like I could have a bunch of these move actors all over the place moving things. But in battle, I don't know the identifier of the thing that I want to make do things. I know, for instance, that I can know like the character that was selected for action, and I can take the character or characters that were selected to be targeted by that action. So if I say attack, I'll know that if it was Atlas doing the attack, Atlas is the character that's doing the attack, and then the character Atlas is attacking is this other one. But I don't know at the time of looking at this graph, I couldn't select that character. I couldn't select like the identifier for that character on the list because I don't know what they are. I don't know what position order. It's all dependent upon where the code is at in execution. So if I wanted to, so that's why like the battle graphs even need a whole different way of targeting. So I go here. No, is this the one? Well, I can use this as the example. Like it has a whole different way of targeting because it's either going to be the current character, whoever it is, the selected one, one of your all of your allies, all of your enemies, the last person you targeted. I mean, think about how you script that. If you want to make a script where the current selected character, who's a melee character, jumps forward, performs an animation to attack, and then jumps back to the spot they started from, there's a lot of complexity and dynamicity in there. Would this game be easier to make if it was Unity? I don't think so, actually. I think I'd have the same problems because now, like, the way I think about it, I'd want to solve for these. If I were the type of developer that was content to come up with something that was rigid and not as flexible in terms of modifications, fine. But there is a lot of power in this scriptability, this ability to like move things around. And so, I've already established this system where I can have effectively graphs that represent some kind of action, like an attack, right? I've set this up where it goes, there's a prepare, which could be the character stepping forward or stepping back, doing something to playing the prepare animation for a skill-based attack or something. There's the execute where they perform their action, and then the finalize is where they like move back or whatever happens next. So that's great. But when you try to control that here, now you get into, okay, so great. I can tell I can figure out who the current character is. But what if there's multiple targets? What if they're going to attack 4 targets? I have to be able to somehow manage that. And the complexity of that means that now I'm going to have to morph this node that was originally designed to just move one actor and do a bunch of other things. And I realized there's just so much complexity with the dynamic nature of the targeting. The targeting's all messed up on this too, which is another problem. Like this keeps happening where even though I've worked to make that stupid resolver stuff work properly, it keeps getting effed up. Hey, Nightfall. What's the main difference from the battle and map icons? Is there a possibility to have a proximity area where you can set context for your actor changes from a mover to a fighter? It's not really the problem. Would this be easier to make? Oh, yeah. So it's not really that's not really what the problem is. The problem is that when I'm in context of battle, the move the concept of moving a character is... Everything okay? Hold on a second. Let me mute. Sorry. Wifey had a question. Hopefully you're well, Nightfall. Anyway, so I think that what it points me to is that I made bad choices. and it's evident in the way that I keep running into weird problems with this map resolving thing. And I need the ability to treat the nodes as distinctly different. Because a node that handles moving a character in battle has a whole different suite of context that it needs to know about. And on a map, frankly, a map is just less complicated. And we won't ever have a case where we say, like, one of the other complications is like, what do you do when the player chooses multiple targets? Like, what happens when it's not just one but 3 targets? So if I say selected here, selected it could be more than one character. Yeah, well, I am going to have like a move. That's what I'm doing. So what I started with was I started going down this path of how I would modify this node so that it could have context-aware behaviors selectable. And then I realized all I was actually doing was mashing 2 distinctly different classes together. The only thing that's like, the similarity is there are some movements that, like movement functions that are the same, but I actually solved for that by making a different concept of a map actor. So previously, like the script runner would have one thing to do, walk. And now I've made this map actor. And when we get actors on the map, we apply this mono behavior. So if I say move 2, it controls the character. We're not doing queued attacks, no. But we are. But interestingly, I did end up making like an action queue within here. See, action queue. I don't need my dicks and my Ds. I don't know why I still have that there. I don't need that. Is processing. Don't need that. Don't need that. I don't think I need that. I don't see any errors showing up. Because this is turn-based. I don't know what you call it, but it's a sequential turn-based, where you choose your attack or your action and you do it, and then the next person it's like the Octopath Traveler idea, where there's like a timeline, and whoever's next is next, you know, and then your full action is performed, and then your next person. But then there's things like let's talk about complexity of battle. Let's say I want to do an attack and the selected is one character, one monster, but my character has multi attacks. What if my character has a 3-time attack where it goes 1, 2, 3, and in the first attack of the one, they kill that monster? What happens to the other 2 attacks? The easy way, the easy programmer way, the way that reduces complexity, is to say, well, that's it. You killed them. It's fine. The nice way to do it, Sorrow, and this is actually what Forge of the Fae does. If that first attack killed the monster, it auto retargets and picks the next one, and it jumps to the next one, and it keeps using its queue of attacks until they're all dead. Which I don't even think Forge of the Fae came up with. I think some other game does this concept. And I talked with Jacob about this a bit, and he's like, "Yeah, that's how it should be." And I'm like, "I hate you, Jacob." I'm all about tough love. It's like, okay, I use my triple threat attack on this one monster, and that's it. It's done. Whatever. But that just opens up all the possibilities of, okay, well, even that is a different battle concept. Do you mean? Well, it's part of the battle concept of sort of retargeting. And interestingly, the Smile Game Builder system by default does this because they are the queued up attack notion. So what they would do is the old Final Fantasy style. Everyone chooses their actions and then it plays out like a script. And so if in the middle of those actions, one of the monsters you originally targeted dies, it retargets and picks a different monster. So there's that whole idea of retargeting is not just a marketing term. It's also used for many different types of battling systems. And so my thought process on it is like, I'm going to have to solve that problem one way or another. So I might as well make it sort of baked into how we do some of this stuff. So ultimately, what I came up with is, first off, interface segregation won't help this. Not that I thought about it that way, but sort of intuitively it doesn't. And second off, it makes the most sense that I just have this battle command. What do you mean it's a game design? Expand your thought process. Because I don't think that there's any concerns that I haven't decided I'm going to solve. So, what game design concern is not resolved? You're going to have to do retargeting. It's going to have to happen. It's sort of, even if I don't do that one idea, there'll be other cases in which it'll be necessary. Unless I want, like, and let me talk about like the outcome based focus that I'm thinking of versus what I could do, right? The current battle, I could just not do anything with the current battle system. Current battle system is a classic, fine battle system. We could make it a little more flashy and just tweak things here and there, and it's fine. And I would say that not solving the retargeting problem is fine, but it doesn't make the battle system any better than it is. So even if I put everything into it to make it like a on-map battle, if I don't solve the retargeting system, I'm not really bringing up the level of thought on what the battle should be and how it should work. Because what I'm doing is I'm saying, okay, battle's too simple. A lot of people have given us a lot of feedback on that. A lot of people have asked for something a little bit more interesting. So if I'm going to do that, I already need to solve for more complicated problems. And that is 100% a complicated problem that we'd have to solve for. And I'm okay. Like, I have no problem solving for it. This doesn't even bother me to solve it. It's not a complaint or even an overall concern. I can solve it. It's no problem. So there's not like it's not in my mind. It isn't the thing that I'm worried about. Even though you guys are asking me the questions as if it is the thing I'm worried about, it is absolutely not what I'm worried about. I'm just stating some of the reasons why I've recognized that I need to solve this problem differently. And, you know, like another factor to consider is that even if that wasn't the thing, there's other things like that. There's other things I have to solve that I think are fundamental to battle that are different than just like, what do you do when you attack and you have to decide what to do next? That's like whatever, you know. How about if you treat attacking like a mana in Diablo, where you need to use 5 points to use a triple attack? I mean, that's the way that our battle system is going to work. That's a whole different. So you're asking a different question. You're talking about like how the gameplay is going to work, and we are maintaining the standard. You have mana, or it's Alterium essence, and so you have like your magic and you have your physical attack, right? Or your non-magic attacks, non-skill based attack. I feel like retargeting makes battles even less interesting than more, but yeah, gotcha. What do you mean? That's kind of what I mean, though. If you need to revamp the entire battle system, is there value making a robust, scalable node system right now? I'm revamping it right now. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing, Sorrow. I'm revamping the battle system. That's the point. So, there are like visual based things. A lot of the things are visual, like what the characters do when they attack. There's other things that are more gameplay based. So, our battle system is basic. It's magic and attacks or defense, right? But there's no, like other battles have these like strategic decision making, like Chained Echoes has some technique to say, if you've used certain skills, there's like I don't even know how it works, but basically you can't just use the same skills all the time, because those skills become less valuable in certain times in battle for whatever factors do it, right? So it sort of encourages you to use other skills or other attack techniques. And Sea of Stars has the time-based battle. I think what we're going to go towards is this idea that your attacks have different modes you can use. So, for instance, a melee attack or your base attack, you can choose to put all your energy into that attack so you can do more damage, or you could choose to do an attack that will help you regenerate some of your AE, which is less damage, but it has regenerative factors. And we're going to actually make it so each character might have different flavors of that based on what they do. You can have ones where it's like, or there'll be like a mix. So it's okay, it's a basic attack, but does some regeneration. So this idea that you're not just wanting to use your skills, and even if your skills run out of juice, you have ways of regenerating that doesn't require you to use potions. Because we still want the flow of battle to be pretty fast if we can. Making battles interesting means making decisions feel more impactful, I think. When you add quality of life, auto retargeting. First off, I'm not talking like an expert about battles. I have no idea what it's going to end up being. I know what we need to change, but as far as what it ends up looking like, a lot of that's going to be dependent upon when we start messing around with our actions and the effects and all that stuff, because this stuff can be tweaked, right? We don't even have to do the plus minus system where you can choose to use more power or less power or whatever. But here's one thing that I would say. When I play turn-based RPGs, I know some people like to spend hours on battle. I do not. I like interesting battles, and some of them to be extended, but other ones, it's like, hey, that's fun, but I want to move on and play the game. And so I want to sort of balance that idea out where some battles might be more meaningful, so you want to spend more time on them, but then other ones you don't. So I don't want to set it up in a way where you get into these long, extended, drawn-out battles, because that's not what our game is about. Our game is not about the battle system. And so some of these things I'm trying to do would hopefully make battles not feel laborious to play. I want them to be interesting, but not laborious. I want people to be able to feel like they're having fun and they have a variety of choices in battle, but that they're not like locked. Every time they run into a battle, they're not locked into it. And they're like, oh crap, now I've got another 5 to 10 minutes to get through this battle system. I'm going to do resolve map target. Resolve battle targets. I'm going to steal this, but I'm not sure yet. Oh, this is I mean, I could just keep the name, I guess, for now. If you want to do multiple attacks, could you ask the player to select a secondary attack? Yeah, I mean, like, so the current system only lets you do one person or everybody. There's no like in between. But I've actually set this is something I set up a while ago. The new system, as it already stands, will have a facility where you can have multiple targets that you select. So, for instance, Atlas will probably have like a multi-target option where he can shoot, you know, 2 instead of, if there's 5 characters, he can shoot 2 of them or something, and you can select which ones those are. So we're gonna have things like that, right? I don't know exactly how that will manifest, but that's sort of the direction that I think we're gonna go. Did I not put resolve target in here? Let's see. Private map. Oh, resolve target. There we go. We'll see how this ends up becoming modified. Can I make this into battle context? I could make it like, since this is move battle actor, I could make battle context, I guess. Let's put it up here. Public battle context. Battle graph context container. Ultimately, though, like one of the I do layers of work. So Masaro earlier was like, "Why would you build a whole node system for this?" Is because I'm not just doing this for battles. Because one of the things that I've constantly tried to do with the engine that I'm working on, and Tech Workbench might understand this because it's very much a philosophy in like SaaS world, the whole scaffolding or strangler pattern. I'm always strangling the crap out of my code. It's like the Bart Simpson thing. So I'm always strangling my code. Whenever I'm working on something, I'm looking for opportunities to essentially evolve the code into the direction I want it to go. So this whole node-based thing that I'm doing is really because I'm trying to extract out my dependency on the Smile game builder system, because it's very laborious to deal with. So it's not just me solving the battle problem, it's also me using that as a tool to build some things I really want to build that I think are hopefully going to be useful. It's not always easy to figure that out, but you know, whatever. Is this just not working because it's... Okay. If you're going in that direction, you could select a secondary target to make damage or miss it, so your character can decide. Are you talking about if... Hold on. If you want to do multiple attacks, could you ask the player to select a secondary attack as you're about to do all your power? Are you talking about like if my character's going to get attacked, I have a way to block it, or maybe I'm not following that part? Okay, so let me think here. To avoid battle forever. Yeah, I mean, we will have some options. You can just run away. Most battles you'll be able to run away from if you really want to. I get it. It just seems like we're offering solutions to design problems, but your original question was more of an implementation one. Well, I wasn't intending to talk about design problems. I wasn't trying, like, you all are talking about design of the battle. I'm talking about the programmatic design of what I'm trying to solve for things I know about the engine that I'm trying to accomplish. So you're getting sort of the double speak of me sort of philosophizing about battle and what it could be. Whereas what I'm actually trying to solve is more of the fundamental system that I'm building. That's kind of how it came, right? I gave a one-liner answer to that before, then I saw tech workers give some design questions. So what I didn't even start with a real question about should I do this or not. My my initial statement was I need to do this, and I realized why. Let me explain to you. And then Tech Workbench asked, are you doing this? Would interface segregation help? And then I started explaining what I was doing, right? I mean, at the end of the day, here's really like the real serious answer to your question, Sorrow. Like not that I wasn't being serious, but when you say questions like, oh, how should your battle system work? The reality is I took an existing battle system and I split it apart into a node-based system for all the states. And whatever I want to do, I can freaking do it. Everything is set up in a way where if I want to fundamentally change how the battle and the battle flow works, I have the ability to do that bit by bit. I can split it out, right? The battle itself is not intrinsically tied together in a way that would make that hard to do, because we have all the brains, which is literally the flow logic, all the calculations, all that crap. And then there's the interaction component, which is just the user making choices, which again, I can choose what choices I give them, and I have the ability to affect that by configuration. So all that exists, right? This is the configuration section. And then there's this tiny little bit here, which is the visual display section, which actually shows the player the outcome of their choice. So we got 3 components of battle. Whatever I decide to do with those components, I can do. The problems I'm trying to solve now is I'm taking a system that usually went to a different map and make it happen on map. And to do that, it opened up all these things about technical and implementation problems I've been wanting to solve since I've been working on this project, since I started using their engine. And so it's sort of a rabbit hole effect, of course, but it's time, right? It's time for me to solve this properly. And, it gets down to like, there's stuff about the battle system I've avoided because it's so complicated. And every iteration I attack it, and no pun intended, I figure out more and more about how the core system works. And I know where I can now change things. And so things I wouldn't have touched before, now I'm like, okay, I get how this works. I'm ready to change it. Like everything that happens between battle start and actual like combat engaging, that's like the previously it'd be like the screen transition and the characters kind of moving into the scene. That portion is all really animation based, but there's a lot of logic that has to happen because now I'm changing it to on map. So now I have to, not only have I changed the entire battle system to work on any map, now I've got to change how the characters get to their spots, how they move there, how they prepare the battle, and I've got to nudge that flow before this even happens. And so in the process of figuring that out, I was like, oh, I could just hard code it. But I was like, well, I'm already having to solve all these other things. And I think it would be better for me long term to solve this now, because once I have this in place, Jacob can F with it, my partner, right? Because then he can work with the notes because he can't code. And I was thinking before I started streaming, because clearly I'm not coding right now, that my development approach, when I'm not fully in flow, like when I'm not purely just producing, which is honestly not very often. Thanks for the rim shot. My approach is, it looks like I'm not doing crap for a long time. And then all of a sudden, it's like a plug clears and then a bunch of crap gets done all at once. And it's because God, I wish I had a good analogy for it. Because you would think I'm just like pushing things around and it doesn't make any difference. But what I'm really doing is like, I'm slowly getting things aligned. And then once it's all set, it's like it all just comes together and goes through, right? And I don't know what a good analogy is for it. I have this, it's like when you see someone working on one of those puzzles that you're just sliding pieces around, like, oh, it doesn't even look like anything. And then all of a sudden they go doot, 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 and then you get the picture, right? That's how I do things. It's really kind of messed up, because if I let my own brain talk to me about some of these things, I get disheartened because it feels like I never get anywhere. But I do. I'm always making progress, and it just all suddenly like shifts into place and then like locks in. Whereas like, my favorite developer to talk about, Wallaber, he's more like, I want to do a thing. Let me show you this iteration. And like, you see him stacking it up and making it all come together, right? You see it all kind of fitting and doop, 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 right? It's like watching someone make a sandcastle. You put up all the dominoes before you can make it. Yeah. Or like, there's examples like this, these people who do these like physical tricks, like this guy who takes this tube, a clear tube, and he puts a bunch of things inside, like dice, and he's like shaking them all around. It looks all chaotic, and then he stands it up, and they're all aligned, right? They're all stacked up perfectly. And I'm not saying I'm a magician or anything, but that's sort of how I end up working, where it's like, oh, I did this, 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 and I'm just like nudging all these things into place before I like, and then it's like, okay, good, we're good. Now let's move on to the next thing, right? Obviously it's not the perfect thing, but sorry, Jacob's messaging me. One of the reasons why we didn't want to do a Kickstarter was because Kickstarters take so much time, and trying to work on a game project while you're also working on doing Kickstarter is no bueno. Today I said, okay, I'm going to work on the battle stuff today. That's what I was going to do. And then I said, well, innocuously, oh, I should go look at my Facebook ads and do some tweaks to it. Then I said, oh, Facebook has this lead ad system where you can bid on conversions that are form fills on Facebook. Like, oh, good. That would be great, because now you're encouraging the ad system to spend money on getting people to put in their email address, which means that while there's going to be a higher cost per lead, the leads theoretically have more value because someone's actually submitted their information, which is not something people like to do. That's great. Random field. And then you start doing that, like, oh, now I got to get all these assets together. Oh, I need to get a privacy policy in place. Oh, this is so, God, it was so much work today. And then I finally submitted it. So, is this an open source project? No, this is not. This is a paid. Do you not know about the project I'm doing? Are you talking about the nodes? Or are you talking about the game? Have I not shown you the game I'm working on? this game right here? Or someone left a comment. I wonder if it's a comment for me or if it's like a something for sale thing. Do you not know about? Have you not welcomed Alterium Shift into your life? My browser didn't crash, but it did weirdness. Have you not seen Alterium Shift? I guess you haven't really been around much, have you? This is the game right here. Not open source. It's currently on early access. Boy, do I have a Kickstarter to advertise for you. It reminds me, I got to send out the VIP survey. We're gonna have it. So like some Kickstarter aficionado. Some people who recommend setting up Kickstarters say you should try to get people to pay you $1 for a VIP status. Since COVID happened, I have not a lot of time to. Oh well, yeah. This is what this is the game I've been working on for 4 years now. It's been a minute. You can see some snippets of the battle system in that. There's a new fishing system that will be launching soon. Yeah, it's a game. Did we get a net? It says positive 54. 70%. We're right on the bubble, man. Right on the bubble. Can go either way. One negative review brings it to mixed. It's so stress inducing. I don't remember where I was going with anything. What was I saying? Was I saying words? You know a game I want to show you all about, though? Not my game. If you guys... So I'm part of this little, like, developer group. This does not have a video to it, which the creator told me that because they didn't put a video on it when they first launched their Steam page, they think that it's sort of a lost cause now. I'm like, no, just put a video on. It's great. This game is freaking amazing. Forlorn Memories. Have you all seen? Oh my god. Like, go wishlist that game. Let me put the link here. Here, let me put the link for this game. I know this is supposed to be my stream too, but whatever. I'll give you guys some videos on this because this person is just such an amazing human. Forlorn Alex. Here you go. I mean, their stuff is so freaking amazing. Look at this. And he does all this stuff himself. I mean, he has like apparently he does some commission work. But I can't. I mean, literally, he could just put some of these videos up and it would be fine on Steam. This game is so amazing. I want to play it. Look at this. Look how amazing this game is. I think it's Unity, right? Look at these characters. Oh, they're so adorable. I can't remember if this was the game. I keep referring to it as there was a time where I saw some art from this character that was like an archer. I don't remember if it's theirs though. Maybe it was a different game. I keep bringing it up and I'm like, wait, was it Forlorn Memories? Look at all this stuff, man. I want this game to be massively successful. This game is so beautiful. And I'm going like years back now. Oh, look at that cute little thing. Look at all this art. Oh my god. Okay, anyway, sorry. I'll stop fanboying here. 2021, yeah. I don't don't remember if it was Forlorn Memories now or not. Now I feel like it wasn't. Who's messaged me on Discord? Stop messaging me, people. I hate it on Discord when I see like a 1 that says, "Oh, you should check this out." Then I gotta hunt it down. Like, who's messaging stuff? I don't even know. It's been quite a journey, I know, and Alex has had some major health issues, which has not helped at all. So anyway, this, in case you're wondering, this is how I get distracted while I'm streaming. Oh, there's no more plus D? Or maybe it's like D. Maybe it's this way. D plus. There we go. I self-identified as distracted. So okay. Let's go back to what I was doing. So I need to get. I think this is just work. No, I have to add the move battle actor command to do it. And then I started getting into this whole thing like map point target resolver, which I might still want to use, but maybe I'll just make like a battle point resolver. I liked the idea that because here's the thing, this is where I started diverging on the whole how this crap works. When battle starts, I need to move all the characters to their appropriate positions. Now I can hard code that, but I realize that no matter what, there's going to be times where I'm going to need to do that anyway. And I was like, well, I don't want to move them to an actor. I want to move them to a point. And there's going to be points that represent their starting point or other locations. But there's going to be more than one actor I have to move. So like, I want to select all the allies. That's a list. That's a list of characters that'll have to be triggered to move to their spot. And I don't know how many allies there are. So however many allies there are, I have to be able to move them to their spots. I guess I could make a move actors command. I don't know. I think I'm just going to I think what I'll do is make it move actor for now, and then I'll expand it if I need to. Do you have a flow graph to have a top view of these events that could happen? Do you mean like just a graph I did separately from the graph in the game? I do have some stuff that I put together. Let's see. Because, you know, Tech Workbench, you get it. You're an engineer of the software variety. You know how planning works. Let me see, where is it? Recent. I think this is it. Trying to figure out where my graphs are. Yeah, here it is. Look at all these visuals. Some of this should look familiar to you. Because I started like trying to figure out all the different types of things that can happen, types of attacks, how the flow of the battle works. So presuming we've got to the battle position here and this is the idle phase, and then you have to like, okay, I got to start the action, I've got to execute it, and then I've got to recover. So the actor like starts, they move here, they execute, they do an animation, then they come back. Did someone say sequel? SQL for some people. squeal for others. Oh, why did I duplicate it? I wonder why I did it twice. Maybe it's because I put... What? Actually, I'm confused. I'm not sure why this shows up twice. I must have added it twice somehow. Battle action graph structure? I guess I just added it twice. Weird. So yeah, I mean, I have some things that I was putting together on how battle flow might work. It's, you know, it's not like in depth, but I have this tipping point where I do all this writing and then at some point I just start coding. Okay, so I've made the node. I need to make, I know what the issue is. I need to make the node itself. Move bat, baby. So we're gonna go to the move actor. Move actor node. All I need. So I guess I could just, well, I'll just copy it. So we're gonna call it move battle actor node is what we're gonna call it. So let's go into our battle node actor. Sometimes you do just need to like duplicate work. It's interesting because my, all of my career, I've always tried to avoid that. I just hate doing the same thing twice. But there's something to be said about, like, even though you have configuration that's effectively named the same, it's more maintainable to have it separate than to try to mash it together. That's sort of where that's what I've achieved with my thought process here. Is that I needed to have something that was more separate. Keep it simple, right? Keep it simple, silly. That's what it is, right? Keep it simple, silly. Remember earlier when I said I put my glasses on so I can focus more? I'm doing great. Go me. I mean, I'm writing code. That's kind of happening, right? Move. On Tuesday, I did a whole talk about and dry the PC version. Don't repeat yourself. 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 So Kiss is the Mac version and Dry is the PC version. You must have grown up in the era of Mac versus PC, right? You're an old person, aren't you? Maybe you're not. 2007? You're old enough. You must be in your 30s, I'd guess. No, maybe not. You said you're college. Maybe you're still in your 20s. Are you still in your 20s? Kids these days. How dare you? Okay. So now here's our move battle actor command. You're in your 40s? Oh my god, you're so old. Oh my god, how'd that happen? You're right, you're so old you can't even type 40. I get it. Do you know, are you using something, do you know how keyboards work? Do you use 2 fingers or all your fingers and thumbs? What kind of typer are you? I better not piss you off. It's like, yeah, I've been here forever, and then I start insulting you, but kind of like lighthearted insulting. You get it. You grew up in the same era as me. So you understand sarcastic affection, right? You're a 2-finger typing, but 1 hand or 2 hands. You're kidding, right? You're not like this. You're not a hunt and pecker, are you? I've actually seen some really fast. I've seen people who type with like 3 fingers on each hand and they don't bother, or 2 fingers and they don't bother with the external ones, and they're just perfectly fast. They're really fast. It's like, well, once you learn how to do it, I guess. Clear was laughing at the concept of 2-finger typing. Now admitting not. Oh yeah. Okay. Well, you clearly don't know how to type either, Saro Kappa. Sorry, you're old too. We're all old around here. By the way, you want to know something about demographics? I showed this before, but it's amazing. The metrics on our Facebook stuff is so clear. It's so clear. Old people like the game. That's pretty much it. The rule is, if you're old, you'll probably convert. It's so clear. Let's see. What can I show here? Look at these metrics, man. I want to make sure there's just nothing in here that matters. Is there anything? No. Oh, there's like MasterCard. Okay. How do I? Is there a way for me to share? Okay, here we go. It's good, like zoom it in. Didn't want to have like, even though the credit card's like the last 4 digits, I don't want to have that. Okay, check this out. I've talked about this. I actually talked about this whatever day. Look at this. This is the metric. So 88.5% of people engaging with the ad are men, and 52%, 50 some odd percent are men between the ages of 35 and 44. I mean, this is Facebook. No, young kids don't use Facebook, right? So like there is a factor where, but this is meta, so it's including all the other things. It includes Instagram. It's not just Facebook. It's Facebook, Instagram, and one other thing. It's not Messenger. I think I turned off Messenger. Now to run K means clustering to segment out your different. Now to run K means. Facebook is for older people, but it's meta, so it's not just Facebook. Even though it shows Facebook, the ad is actually placed on its entire scope. We don't get a lot of traction on TikTok, and I think I know why. Because old people like this game. Old people don't use TikTok. That's why it doesn't work. Our audience is not on TikTok. Because TikTokers don't give a flip about classic retro SNES type style games. If it were more of the Octopath style, Instagram's for older people too. All right, well, but we don't get a lot of traction on those platforms. Look at this though. Like this is, you talk about marketing. This is such a clear target. I wonder what placements this. Mobile app. So a lot of old people on their phones. And a lot of Canadians. Look at all these Canadians. I love you, Canadians. Come support my game. And Californians. Oh my God. Look at this. So if I were going to do extremely targeted advertising, top 3, Quebec, Ontario, California. F all you all, rest you people. BC, look at the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The top 6 are all mostly Canada, California, Texas. Oh my God, this is so amazing. I never even looked at the location. What's interesting is that when I set up the targeting, I intentionally included Canada because I'm like, you guys speak English for the most part. I'm Minnesotan, so I'm like, honorary Canadian, except I'm not because I was raised in California. But look at this. This is like a lot of U.S. states. Here is something I have not think about until I moved to Canada. have no think about. You know, it's crazy when we were working with our publisher, they picked a random state. I don't remember. It was like Kentucky. It was some state that's not on this list. And they said, we're going to target our ads here. And I'm like, why? And they had some metric that said that's where a lot of people play video games. But this metric is like, no, you want to target Canada. These are metrics of advertising our game. Because Wallaber, if you ever want to talk about marketing stuff, I'm happy to talk with you about it. Because a lot of marketing is paying for some advertisement to find out where your audience is and then refining your targeting for that audience. I'm supposed to be working on code, but you know how that goes. I did talk about you earlier too. Because I said watching Wallaber work on games is like watching a master create a beautiful sandcastle. It is absolutely like that. Like, you know, those people on the beaches where they show up and all you have is sand, and then they end up with these beautiful like architectural things. And sure, like it's probably not all sand. They have like things inside that are propping up some of it because you can't make the entire thing out of sand. Let's be real here. But that's Wallaber. And I was saying I'm like those people who you don't know what the hell's going on. And like they're doing some kind of trick and all of a sudden it comes together. It's like, bam. It's like, you ever see those painters that they're like painting random shit. They're like throwing things around. And then everyone's like, what are they doing? And at the end they turn it upside down. And it's like a picture. Oh, that's what they're doing. That's me. I'm like painting upside down and sideways. And at the end of it, I end up with the product, but you wouldn't know it to look at it halfway through. My recent chats with some publishers said less than 100K budgets for indie games is tough. You don't get enough volume. Publishers don't give a flip about indie games. And also, okay, hold on. Let's have a little talk. I did a whole video or a whole recording on Tuesday about marketing. I'm not going to turn this into a full talk, but I'm just going to throw this out there. Anytime you talk about someone who is trying to tell you about their expertise, you have to remember that anybody in that area is selling their expertise. And publishers have a whole different focus in their industry. Not as a potential publisher for my game, okay. But there's a publisher talking to you that you don't know and don't trust, and they're trying to sell you on one thing, and they're going to tell you all the things. There's a friend of yours that's going to tell you, and that friend of yours, if they are a publisher, if they work in publishing, the whole industry has a focus and a goal. Even if that person believes it 100%, the whole ethos around that type of work has one focus area and direction. And it doesn't always align with what a developer might need or understand. What I'm trying to say is, I don't believe anybody who works in any type of marketing. I'm sorry, even if it's your friend. On all major movies, the Brazilian flag or something in Portuguese, the clue was that the country has 200 plus million in population. I only realized that it was important to sell more and expand their sales. Perhaps you should think about translating to Portuguese. Yes, we do think about it. Thor from Pirate Software showed his sales in Brazil were a big factor. Yes, we do want to do localization in Brazilian Portuguese. What I mean, Saro, is I don't believe anybody when it comes to marketing. I work in my company. I didn't say this on Tuesday, but the company I work for is a Google Premier Partner. Google Premier Partner is a status that you only get if your sales are at a certain level and you meet a lot of major goals. And there's only 3% Google Premier Partner in the entire US. So to get to that status takes a lot. And so yes, we're in a specific portion, but even then it used to be like there was like automotive with different segments. And now it's just entirely, they stopped doing the different segments. They're like, out of all the vendors we work with, I don't care what industry you work for, only these percentage get this status. And Google partnership is a big, big deal. And I say this not because I'm saying, because of that, I know everything there is. I'm actually going to say it in a different way, maybe than you expect. When you say someone is a Google Premier Partner and you people with that badge on their freaking website, you are certifying that the expertise that you have on your team is of a level that a gigantic corporation is going to give you extra support and services to sell. There's a lead up to this, Sarah, which is, and I really hope none of the people that I don't. The reality is, even the people that are of that status have no idea what they're doing. I'm sorry. They have no clue. They know what they've done that works. But if you, and they'll be able to, spout jargon, and they'll be able to tell you like how pieces of a system work. They won't be able to tell you why any of it works or what the real strategy is. And I know this because I ran the department of the Google Premier Partner for 3 years. And while I wouldn't claim that I'm an expert in any of this either, I certainly know of a level of mid-level or higher of a media manager from my organization. So Sarah, when I talk about a publisher saying, well, unless you have if you have less than 100K, it's too volatile. They don't know what they're talking about. They know what they're talking about in the context of some experience that they had for some period of time. But they have no clue. And sorrow, they don't even know what they're talking about for games that are $1 million budgets. Because look at the massive flops that we've had. No one knows what the F they're doing. And the ones that do are not giving you their secret sauce right now. They're not on YouTube telling you what to do or giving you that. And I'm gonna freaking say 9 times out of 10, if not 10 times out of 10, even those people have no idea what they're doing. They think they do because they've had success and survivor bias. And they're going to tell you everything that they know because they've had all that experience. But put them in a novel situation, they'll have no idea and they won't be able to do much better than anybody else. Marketing love PowerPoint presentations with all the key points on screen and the actual knowledge to read and look like. Yeah. So I guess the reason I say that is like when I talked on Tuesday, the thing that I sort of want to reinforce is you do need to have some ability to look at numbers and make decisions. But no marketer is going to be able to look at your project or even your current numbers and say, I know exactly what you need to do. You do this, this, and this, and you'll make millions. I mean, they could say it, but they're not going to know, right? If they could say that and be sure of it, they would offer you a guarantee. No marketer will offer you a guarantee. And if you want any indicator that they truly know how to sell your product, ask for a guarantee. Not a single one is going to give you any guarantee. They'll take your money. They're going to say they'll do the best they can, but they absolutely will not. Sorry, I should take this off because I don't want people to get doxxed on here. But they will not at all guarantee you outcome and result. And this goes back to like, if you ever want to know for sure if something is valuable, if people think it'll work or not, look at how the money works around it. Because that will tell you. And if marketing were truly that great, if it was truly something that you could break down into a science and show a YouTube video on or, whatever, if that was truly that magical, was that easy, then there would be companies out there selling you a guarantee on the work that they produce. Full freaking stop. And that's why, like, you know, you can find companies that will help you, but unless you know what you're doing, you better not. Because if you don't know how to read the metrics yourself, you don't know if they're actually helping you. It's true that some companies will. Like, there's a lot of legwork. There's a lot of, like, tweaking and adjustment based upon the things you see. Really good, talented marketers will be able to look at numbers and, like, make different targeting decisions and know how to experiment and improve. But they're not going to, you know, they're not going to make you millions. I worked for a $1 billion client in the US that had big issues to track data correctly and needed support with reporting. How does someone from marketing would even know if the domain experts did not know? Well, there's this. So I'm going to try and turn it into a video, but there's that whole, like, knowledge gap idea. Someone in consulting, especially marketing, they try to essentially make it seem like the problem is too complicated for you to solve. Even if you're even if you're capable of knowing it, they try to, like, throw jargon at you and talk about how people, you got to watch the trends and you got to know all this stuff. But they don't know, man. They don't know. I would say, like, the analogy that comes to mind is great marketers are like really good surfers. People that'll surf the 100-foot wave. Those surfers die every year because they, they decide to try. People with years of experience, they try to surf a gigantic wave. The ones that succeed, you're like, wow, that guy's amazing, or gal, whoever, that person. Guy was generic in my view. But those people still die too, right? Or like the rock climbers that climb giant mountains without any gear, the free climbers. At some point, they might fall into their death, right? But while they're succeeding, you think they're amazing. And all of those guys wouldn't be able to tell you exactly what it's going to take for you to surf that 100-foot wave. They'll be like, yeah, here's what you do. You do da. Okay, and you get up there and you just, splat on the rocks. And they get up there and maybe break an arm or something, right? It's just, there's no exactness to that science. Any profession, consulting-wise, that provides guarantees on things has some assurance that they can meet those guarantees. And marketing doesn't. They don't. Piro Gigon. Or is it Pi Rogan? Gosh, I'm going to totally mess this up. Welcome. How are you all? Just tell me how to say your name and I'll say it properly. Or don't, but I hope you had a good stream. They, them, half potato filled dumpling. I don't know if you're going to like the avatar you got stuck with. You might want to change it. I mean, it's sort of like it was a sort of a joke on America. Dumplings for everyone. What were you working on your stream? Those avatars are random, by the way. That's why you got that one. You must have been here before. Teacap. Did you change your name? But if you're, by the way, don't feel like you have to stay here. Oh, grease pretzel stuff. That's awesome. So you're doing art. Bosch fire. Holy crap. Did you guys all just decide to triple raid attrition me? I just got I got a train run on me. I've got to go check my pants, make sure I'm okay. Was that on purpose? What is going on? What is happening? Thanks, y'all. I'm going to have to get myself checked to make sure I don't have any sort of BD or anything after this one. I'm going to let each sound play. Welcome, everybody. It was a quadruple raid. Pierogi dumplings. Pierogi, that's how you say it. Of course it's pierogi. I'm dumb. Bosch, Tunic, Stoff. Thanks for just ramming your raid through to me. Every possible. Give me that D+, baby. Oops, it's not. That's not even the D. That's the D. There you go. Welcome, welcome. How are you all? Hey, I don't know how many of you know me, but in case you don't know me, this is the game I'm working on, Alterium Shift, and this is the Kickstarter that we're getting ready to launch at some point in the near future. If you like retro-style JRPGs and you like supporting people in the Kickstarter space, there you go. I'm your man. And if you don't, then I guess I'm not. And that's okay. Hope you all had good streams. Pierogi, by the way, you obviously if you wanted to raid and run, no worries. You have my permission. Don't feel like you have to stick around for my sake. I've gotten a lot of work done. As in, I created a duplicate class after defending my choice. And then I did nothing else. Literally nothing else. Besides talk. A lot. I was saying at the beginning of this that if I ever got to do this full time, maybe I should stream during the day. All right. Thanks for hanging out, Tunic. Bail away. Bail away, bail away, bail away. But if I did this during the daytime, I feel like I would just not ever get things done. Now that that's done, I'll be around. Lurky while I get some pictures I did. Oh, cool, cool. Yeah. Send me, if you want to send any pictures, send them on here too. I want to see. We were doing a Zelda randomizer. Oh, okay. You were all having a good time together, and then you decided to bring your good time here. I appreciate it. I'm not randomizing anything Zelda-wise. I'm just randomizing work. You beat the final Ganon. Ooh, buddy, what does that even mean? Who's Ganon? I know who Ganon is. I know who Ganon is. I'm kidding. Come on. Oh, man. Ganon's like it's like the grunt cannon, right? It's a cannon, exactly. Sorry, let's peeking a bit. We'll just turn it down slightly. Thought I had those sounds dialed in, but they're not so dialed in as they used to be, I guess. It's nice to have you all here. We were talking about marketing, and I was crapping all over marketers. I was also telling my wife the other day what I love about being in the entertainment industry. Hey, May. Thanks for the... Is that like a half wave, or is that like a tweaked lip thing? I was telling my wife that what I like about the entertainment industry is it opens my eyes to how people work. Like, you think about the way entertainment okay, tech. The way entertainment works. Outrage marketing in general, putting material out there that people will consume. Consumers, like when you create content, your product is the content. So whenever you consume information that's supposedly helpful or useful or demonstrates someone's expertise, there is a component of that where you have to take with a grain of salt that that person is generating content that you will consume. And in fact, some content creators actually hate it at some point. They're like, oh, look at all this, traffic I'm getting. And then they realize that their life is confined to always creating that content, which sounds just freaking awful. But it's also interesting because when I'm consuming content and I have an emotional reaction to it, I have to remind myself that the person creating the content is likely going after that. I can't stop the laughter. Thanks, Tech. It's so great to have you back. I appreciate it. That you're making use of the sounds. And it makes me feel good. Maybe. Where did my thing go? Map target, move target. Okay, I need to figure this out. So we're in battles right now, right? 2 points. Here it is. Okay. Okay, that's good. So we don't need this. We need to steal this right here. Move it down here. Yeah, I'm just working on a little bit of stuff. Not doing anything fancy. Not building any sandcastles like Wallaber does. Wallaber has a coding game. It's called Replicube. Pretty cool. Did it in Godot. And I've seen his game a lot. And he's explained to me how it works. And I still couldn't figure it out. And they did a video. And he's like, well, it's like this. You return a value. And it asks you on every point of the cube what color it should be. And you return a number that represents a color. And then after the video, I'm like, I get it. And I said, Wallaber, if you just made it like it was a function, I would have gotten it immediately. If it was just like, get cube color XYZ, I'm like, oh. Then you just say, well, if X is this or Y is that, return this color. You know, it's like, all right, don't drop like dead drop though, okay? Finish with my allowed time to work on Saturday though. I might be lurking a bit. Thanks for the lurk and the hanging out. It's great to see you again for so long, Tech Workbench. Hopefully, you're well. I'll take it. I've enjoyed it. And I actually really love the technical questions. So I hope that you do come back and challenge me technically more. Because, you know, who else do I have around that'll challenge me technically? Sorrow? Sorrow. Technical challenges. I'm totally baiting you, Sorrow. Wallaber doesn't bother challenging me technically. He just rolls his eyes at the crap that I do. Yeah, screw that guy. Wallaber sees what I does. He goes, yeah, I know why you're doing it, but it's dumb. You shouldn't do it that way. Or he doesn't even say it's dumb. He just says, why would you do that? Why would you just like solve your problem? Why wouldn't you build a sandcastle? Because I don't want to build a sandcastle. I'm going to make a rocket ship out of sand and then have it fly into the air. He goes, yeah, but it's made out of sand. It'll fall apart once it gets, you know, even if it could lift off, it would just explode in sand. And I'd say, right, but Wallaber, don't you understand that I can take sand and I could put materials in the sand that make it hardened enough that it could fly? And he'll be like, well, okay, but you could also just build an actual rocket. Like, right, but I don't want to build a rocket. I like sand. It's fun to sculpt with. And it's a challenge. Whoever thought you could build a rocket out of sand and have it fly into the air? That's crazy. And Wallaber would be like, yeah, I guess so, but it's going to take you a lot longer to figure out how to make a rocket fly with sand. I said, right, but won't it look cool? He goes, sure.
But Marcus, Ma, you knew I want to be a rock star. There's too many rock stars in the world, but only one of you, Marcus.
I'll read a white paper and master in-game. Yeah, game. You don't have to know that. Just ask me questions that aren't game developers. I like my own little conversation with Wallaber in my head. Because, you know, the analogy of me trying to build a rocket out of sand is perfect. It's like, why would you do that, Motzi? Because I like it. It's fun. And then he'll be like, you know, there's tools that you can use to shape things out of sand. Like, that's true. I can use my hands too. Oops. Okay, so I got to figure this out. So this is going to be battle position. So all the positions for like point movement, not even be 2 point. It'll be like 2 position, I think. I think that's how it will work. We'll see how that works. And then oh, I don't even want the target though, right? So it'll be like, and we'll call it position offset X. Name things is good. Now, while we're to make a racing game out of sand, like, you know, you're racing. Actually, he did, because he did his like sample of Parking Garage Valley Circuit with sand. Okay, so we're gonna have a battle position, which will be different locations, and then there's offsets for that position, and I think that's all I need. You're all I need to get by. I don't want this to be 2 points though. I want it to be Mr. Mecha Moose. Are you back finally? Wait, you've been back, haven't you? Where have you been all my life? How are you? I have returned. That's not how you sound, but did you just get back? I feel like you've been gone forever. Did you finally find clothing? Did your bag ever show up? Or did it stay lost forever? Is it just like YOLO, no more bag? Oh crap. Was there you said it was mostly clothes though, right? Hopefully there wasn't. I think there was like 1 or 2 things in there though that were kind of important. Okay. Here's a question for the crew. It has nothing to do with Mr. Mecha Moose, but I still want to know. So special, that's so dumb and I hate it. You just lose it and then they're like, "Yep, sorry." And you know it's just like somewhere random. Like, "Oh yeah, here it is." But no, you know, no one's going to tell you, or they stole it. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with a bunch of clothes. Okay. So Jacob is trying to figure out a good style for our Kickstarter stretch goals. Is that style okay? Does that look okay? I don't know. I can show a preview of what our Kickstarter thing looks like. I think, where is it? We have our Kickstarter project. Oh, I have to get. Oh crap! Don't know if I want to do this while I'm on stream. Log in. Crowdfunded? What about a smile from one of the main characters? That's what I would do as a marketer. A smile in the bucket? I'm confused. Do you mean as part of the stretch goal? Come on. Here we go. Is it decent? Okay. Apparently Jacob's not fully satisfied. Well, once he's had a train run on him like I did, he'll be satisfied, I'm sure. How do I look at my page? It's like a preview page, right? It's a project, pre-launch page. But where's the preview page? show you guys our Kickstarter page. This is the thing that's not publicly available yet. I think you have to be logged in to see it. How do I preview? There we go. Here's our Kickstarter page that we're working on. Well, Jacob's doing all the pretty. Look at that. Look at the headings. See, it's so nice to have someone who does art. I think he needs to make more of these into gifts like that one, but he's still working on it. All the features. Look, you can pet the dog. People like to pet the dog. Fishing. Here's a new character art from Wanyodos. Wayne Kubiak. He's pretty cool. These are all the main characters. There's a couple others that we haven't shown yet. You enjoyed the demo? Oh, cool. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Feel free to give us feedback. If you're on my Discord, you already give me feedback. Thank you. If not, that's okay too. Wow, he did a lot. He's done a lot here. Team, look, there's me. I'm Matzi. There's Jacob. There's Jonathan Shaw. Wayne Kubiak. Handun Games we're figuring out. I think we don't have a picture for him yet. Mark Harbaugh. I don't know how to say it. Marcel Moski. We're working on some of the other pieces here too. Look at that. Coming soon to a Kickstarter near you. Alterium Shift. What if their feedback is a negative Steam review? Then it sucks and I hate it. But it's earned. We've earned every piece of negative feedback that we've received, whether it's a negative review or not. So what's it doing here? Position offset. Why is it giving me a... The member appears in multiple UI groups. Oh, yeah, no, it doesn't. Here you go. That should be okay, right? This is another one of those streams where I got nothing done. Well, I got something done. I mean, that's the problem. When you put yourself out there, you can get negative Steam reviews. Just think about how hard it is to collect somebody's email address and recognize that if someone is willing to go into Steam and give you a negative review, then your game meaningfully impacted them enough for them to do it. And I know that the amount of time people have available varies, but it's still it's like someone is spending their time, their personal equity of time to do that. Whether I agree with that feedback or not, that's pretty freaking legitimate in terms of feedback. What can I say about that? There's nothing I can say about it. It's just yep. Can I open this in browsers? Copy image. Sending something to Jacob. I'm hoping that, we're going to get plenty of negative. People don't like our style. They don't like the game. The game's boring, whatever it is. We're not a huge company. We're not a huge, AAA studio. We don't have tons of reviews on our game as it is. So, for someone to discover it and then play it and then, pay for the game, play it, not like it. Oh, God, it's so amazing. But conversely, we earn any positive reviews we get through that, because that's also a lot of work. I don't know if it's more to give positive or negative reviews. I learned a lot about this gig. I was saying earlier about, I've learned a lot about entertainment and marketing and how you should be looking at, when you look at something that happens, like some impact or opinion or effect or otherwise. Is I got an error? What's going on here? No, that shouldn't be. Why is it not compiling? Maybe I already compiled it. No, I didn't already compile it. Let me go back there. You shouldn't look at the way you feel about it or whether, you assume something's true. You should look at the people that are posting the material and what kind of outcomes they get from it. I think I made a not recommended review only one time and explained myself, and it was because I got too frustrated to keep playing. I mean, and it's valid. I rarely ever put reviews on games. Mostly because I'm lazy. But I don't think I would ever give a negative review unless, first off, I didn't like something so badly about the game that I was upset. And second, after having that feeling, I would reach out to the developers and the response is, don't care, right? If I reach out to developers and they say, hey, we understand, we don't work on this game anymore, whatever, right? Like if any of that happened where it was just like, I reached out and they gave me at least some response that showed they understand what I'm saying, I'm fine. I'll move on with my life. I have to change something else here. But if they're jerks about it or they're non-existent, then sure, I'm going to leave a review. If I'm really that upset enough to reach out to the developers and then the developers respond in a jerky way, I 100% am going to leave some kind of review. That's negative, which since I haven't done that a lot, I'm not going to do it. Hey, Oddly Modly. How are you doing? I love that name. Oddly Modly. Ah, it's so fun to say. How are you doing tonight? So to continue to finish that thread of thought, to me, that's why it's also exceptionally important as a developer to be responsive. There's actually one person that gave us a negative review and then rescinded it because after they gave the negative review, they posted something on a board and I responded to their concern. And I think we even fixed the issue that they were having an issue with. And so they took the negative review away. You came with Boss Fire. Oh, cool. Boss Fire is pretty awesome. I mostly only leave negative reviews for big AAA games that have ticked me off. Yeah, I mean, the larger the studio and the more distant, the more sort of cold it feels, the easier it is to be like, yeah, I don't like you or whatever, right? Because the company's so big, the negative review, unless it's review bombed or so bad that everyone hates it, the negative review is more like you expressing something that people could review or not, but it's really not going to sway the studio. And getting negative reviews doesn't always even mean the game is going to tank. Yeah, I guess so, but good reviews, the reviews don't matter. It was an old game and that was very successful. It doesn't matter, Sorrow. The reviews don't matter in terms of devs being laid off. It only matters if they affect sales. Negative publicity doesn't matter unless it's so bad that it tanks a company. Then they matter. But negative publicity can be turned into sales too. And then you gotta learn which negative reviews, constructive criticism, someone being mean. Reviews never matter. For a small indie studio, they matter to the way Steam manages its algorithm. And they're going to say in early access, it doesn't matter, but it does. We legitimately, when we dropped into mixed a couple times before we got a couple positive reviews that balanced it out, all traffic just basically dropped off. It went from steady, good, okay traffic, because we're on a mostly positive right now, to just... And so Steam will tell you, oh, it's not that important, but it is way important. And that's what the frustrating part are, the people who are just trolly about it. And they're just like, yeah, just stupid game, whatever, thumbs down. I know that people maybe don't like it, and it's their, it's within their rights to give a negative review. It just, God, you really just, for an indie dev, I don't know, man. I pay attention to reviews if I'm on the fence about price. Otherwise, I'll just buy and play. I mean, what's crazy to us is that we have a demo that is the full version of the game, but with content, like it just stops after a certain point. Like it's like 5 hours of gameplay if you play every character. There's 3 characters you can choose, but usually you only play one. So it's like an hour and a half of gameplay, let's say, for the uninitiated or someone who's not racing through. It's a pretty good amount of gameplay for a demo. Just play the freaking demo. If you want to buy the game, try the demo first. But then people buy it and then they don't like it, and then they refund the money and they give a negative review and then refund it. That's why big AA games, it's like $60 and it's bad. I leave a review to make sure people can be conscious. Yeah. It's just, I don't know, man. I don't understand other people's brains as much. Okay, so I want to change this from 2 point to 2 position as well. What do I want to do here? I think I have it in. Okay, so now I don't want this to be separate. Well, what I'll do, let's see what we got here. Actor battle. This is dumb. I'll do it anyway, though. Imagine being a development streamer that actually coded instead of talked to people all the time. Can you imagine what that would be like? Wallaber. He's good at that. That'd be crazy. I might need to think harder. Oh, let's see. Wait, hold on a second. What is AS going to launch at price point wise? More than it is now on Steam. I try not to rip smaller groups of indies unless it's like egregious, because stuff is more niche, and even if it's not niche, I think people should make games even if they're not for me. Yeah. I might need to think harder about this, but my primary use of reviews is to convince myself of buying a game like overwhelming positive. Like, sure, I'll like I'm sure I'll like it. I've played some overwhelming positive games that didn't pull me in, but I would agree that if it's mixed or lower, I'm less inclined to purchase. So I mean, just my own buying style, I would be less inclined to choose a game that's in a mixed status. Wallaber is an amazing streamer. I don't know if you guys know who Wallaber is, but most of you probably do. Because he works. He's there to get shit done. He will read your words sometimes and decide what he wants to respond to. He won't read them out loud usually. He'll read them in his head and then he'll respond to them. He's very efficient with that. I'm stuck with the style I learned from White Vault of reading every word. Everything someone says, I'm going to read for the most part. I don't do it quite as much as White Vault. Like, White Vault will read everything, but I will be pretty close. So instead of move option, we're going to change this to battle move option. There you go. Is this going to change it? I think these are okay because they're all in here. I don't know if I care about changing the name of it, though. I think I just care about changing the class. Got my PAX East tickets. Gonna play some PoE2, Poe of Hope, and try to stay up a little longer before crashing. All right, well, thanks for stopping in, Mr. Mechamoose. Hope that you're doing well. And, don't be a stranger. Have fun playing Poe. Whatever that is. We're not going to PAX East, but we did submit for PAX West, so we'll see. Path of Exile. Oh, yeah. I guess that makes sense. Why would you change this one? I didn't want you to change that one. Oh my God. Becky, look at her butt. Oops. What? Frailed? Field? Yeah, I want move option. There you go. All right, we'll have fun playing Popo. Playing with the Popo. I legitimately, when I was about to start stream, thought to myself, this is going to be the night where I focus on just working. I'm going to do it. I've really been enjoying thinking about working while I work, and it's been amazing. And I failed. Miserably. Not miserably, it's fun. But at the same time, it's like, I'm going to get work done. This is it. I spent the entire day working on marketing activities, but now I'm going to work. Little did I know. Right now, I'm just like nudging code around. It's easier to do without thinking, I suppose. Okay, will this compile? No, something's missing here. What is missing? Something sneaky is happening here. What did I include? Battle move option. Why would it not show in the runner? Public enumerator. Did it get stuck behind editor? Oh, I know why. Hold on a second. No? Why is it not in that assembly space? Grazie enumerator. Why wouldn't it be in the assembly space? So I don't have it in the editor space. That's weird. I'm a little uncomfortable. I mean, I could tell it to reference the assembly, but there's something goofy here. Enumerator battle. How is that not? Is it just because I didn't? Yeah, maybe it just needs to be in the assembly. This is weird that it wouldn't show up here. Why would it work in the editor then? Well, that's not being used. I can get rid of that. I guess I could just reference it. This is weird. I don't understand. This is in the runtime space, but this enumerator isn't. There's nothing special about it. Enumerator battle move option. Ugh, I don't want to do this, but I'll do it anyway. It's just weird that it makes me reference that assembly. I don't get it. I guess there was nothing wrong. It just wanted to do that for some reason. We'll let it go compile. Guess it's time for the dad jokes. What happens when you slap Dwayne Johnson in the butt? You've hit rock bottom. Womp womp. What happens when you tell jokes about slapping Dwayne Johnson in the butt? Same outcome, different joke. Same joke, different outcome? No. Error, group visibility. Box group attribute. Shut your frickin' face. Cannot use equal. Oh, hold on a second. I think I know why that is. I was using the wrong. Move path. Yeah. We need to do like that. There we go. Did I get the space in there? I did. All right. No, there is no battle move path. What am I doing? It's move option. 2 actor, 2 position. Move option. There it is. Only 2 of them, right? That should make it go away. How does a plumber like his coffee? Piping hot. What did the military grade laxative say when it enters the bowels? I've come to relieve you. Why would they call it? Didn't I rename that? Why did it not recompile? Move option dot direction? That's right. Can I spell? Maybe. I changed the battle. Is that the only one? I thought there were 2 of them in here. 2 point. Oh, yeah. Okay. I've noticed as I've gotten older, or maybe it's just coincidental, but my typing's gotten really bad. I used to be a much better typer in general. At least I believe that was. All right, we'll get this puppy set up. I should have also pointed out earlier when I talked about like my method of programming that when all the pieces come together, it's not like the same day. You gotta come back, come back to the beach. Like, oh, now he's got like the stand of a rocket. Then there's a piece of the rocket over there. What's that doing? Like, I got a plan. Trust me. I know what I'm doing. I don't know exactly what the plan is. We'll figure it out. Like, wait, weren't you building a different rocket the last time I was here? Yeah. That rocket was my theoretical rocket. This one's the real one, I swear. Check out my rocket and how I can move it. Isn't it supposed to go up? Yeah, right, but check this out. If I can make it go left, I could eventually make it go up. This is all happening in my head. I don't want... So the great part about the battle actor stuff is I don't want pass through events, abort on fail, ignore height, because I'm fully controlling where the character goes. I don't think I even want clean placement. Fixed direction. Would that matter? It might, because there might be some reason I want to have the character face one direction and go the other. But all these options, they go away, which is great. We're going to do that. This is where trimming it down is actually kind of nice, because I can get rid of a bunch of crap. So the only one that I want is to keep fixed direction. Everything else, ignore height, pass through events, abort on fail, they go away. Clean placement, I think, is going to be implicit. And movement speed's fine. So that's good. So what other things can I trim from here? Set motion, that's fine. I think I would set that, maybe. Set rotation, sure. We'll leave it there. Position. I think this needs to be like offset X and Y. I actually haven't decided how that's going to work. I'm going to talk about this for a second because I want to configure this so it makes some marginal sense, I suppose. So earlier I was showing this battle action planner. Oh boy, fun. This is like a game of operation. I've got to move the window without it going off the edges or being halfway between the screen. Okay. So when I was setting up... When I was setting up this sort of plan on how battles would work, I don't think I even put a graphic of it, although it's sort of implicit in this setup here. So when you have, oh yeah, where did I put it? I thought I did something actually with that. Look, I had talked to Wallaber about this, featuring Wallaber's advice. Woo! And then I didn't really take good notes. Because some of my conversation with Wallaber is just affirming what I'm gonna do. Like he's like, yeah, that's dumb. Like, okay, I'll probably do that then, because I can't do the smart things, Wallaber. But in a battle, you have the center of battle, and usually there'll be a point that's the center. So there's a center point that the battle is revolved around. There's also, I swear I had a graphic for this, but there's the front of allies and front of enemies, and there's like back of allies, back of enemies. And I guess it could have like a top and bottom, but that's not quite as important. So if I were going to do a move battle actor, and I was going to do it by direction or by position, so I was going to say direction, up, down, left, right, whatever, or I would do from start and then offset. X has to be forward and back, and Y has to be up and down. So the real question is, if I move a character to like this spot right here, I say, oh, this is going to be front of allies. But I want it to be front of allies +2. As in left 2. Maybe I don't need an offset. Yeah, I don't like doing the extra nodes just so I can move it forward too. So I need to find a way to name the horizontal that isn't just X. Or I have like it has to be a single value. I could do a slider that has a plus and a minus. I could do a direction. I could do the word horizontal. I could do... It feels like I would need like a direction and a value. So instead of it just being X, where I have to do like, you know, a number, it would be like offset direction, offset value. I think that's what I would probably have to do. So then position offset X would be a Does that make sense? I guess I could mock it up and see what it looks like. Get off of me. Let's do some things here. For now, I'll just do it in here. So private enum horizontal. Forward and back. This too much work? Probably. Forward and backward? That it would make it parallel construction correct. A lot of work. Up and down. Oh, but what about diagonals? Don't even start with me. Just, you know what? Don't. What about diagonals? I guess you could make a diagonal with this, because it would basically create an offset that could technically be a diagonal. Whatever, I don't care. Stop arguing with me about this. Just relax, okay? Just relax. Private horizontal direction. Boom. Horizontal direction. Or horizontal direction. There we go. And do we want... We probably want enum toggle field, right? Enum toggle buttons. And then box group. Horizontal. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Show if that's... I don't need that stuff, I don't think. I think this will be show label false. I think this will work. So this will be, what I'll do is like left, right. So I'll do like two different horizontals. So instead of saying to position for Y, we'll call it vertical. I still call that horizontal. How am I doing this? Horizontal direction. My typing is in rare form tonight. New toggle buttons, vertical. That's not how you spell vertical, is it? Vertical? do I get for naming things? What is it saying here? Box group. What is your problem? Why are you complaining at me? You're saying it's not named right? Different types of group attributes should not share the same path. Box group attribute is expected. Oh, I see. It's not. It's supposed to be a horizontal group. There you go. Box group, horizontal group. You know how it goes. What is your problem? Cannot resolve construct. Horizontal group. Oh, because it's okay. That's why. It was a box group. It needs that. Okay. So will this work? This will give me the left and right. Okay. Let's see how this works. A lot of this is just getting the pieces in place for configuration, and then, you know, writing the code that actually does the next step of things. Coding's easy. You just have to write it and make it work. Why did the cat vomit on the carpet? She wasn't feeling well. Feline well. Almost there. So we have... This would need to be a horizontal thing, though. 545. I should probably do something that like limits the number that this could be, but horizontal, vertical. Okay. Yeah. What happens if we don't want to set? Also, why is it not showing? So it's just not, there's not enough space here. Okay. Let's go into this. What's another word for horizontal? Thesaurus, here we come, baby. Horizontal. Recumbent. Oh my god. There's not really any good words for horizontal. Prone, levels, reclining, flush, reposing. How is there not a good word for horizontal? You could say x-axis, x direction, x-dir. I mean, I actually don't even like that as forward and backward, but forward and backward make more sense than left and right. What's another word for forward? Fourth. Ahead, onward. Backwards, back. There's front and back. God, man. Offset front. Just get rid of the label. I can use forward and back. That will give me some space. Why don't we have good words for that? Why don't we have like simple words for going forward and going backwards? I want better words. Make me better words. Maybe I'm just going to make it implicit. Hide label. Hide label. Then when Jacob tries to work on this, he'll be like, Matzi, what are you trying to do here? Like, I'm trying to make your life difficult, Jacob. That's how I do things. Always try to make it harder for you. Can't make it easy. Oop, yeah, yeah. It's crazy that there isn't like an obvious word for a directional movement. Left, right, up, down, front, back, side, front, back, side to side. Well, that's okay, but this is too big now. I guess I could do offset X and offset Y. This is, I mean, these don't need to be that big, so I can change the width of that. So what I would do for the horizontal group is width. I don't know, 15. I mean, it doesn't need to be that big. Maybe 20. And then we'll call this the offset label. I guess X and Y kind of make sense, forward and backwards. It's fine. It's fine. We can deal with it. Matsu, why do you worry about so much detail? I don't know. Problem. It's a problem that I have. My wife asked me to make coffee for her today. Our anniversary was yesterday. We've been married for 16 years. We've been together for 18 years. That's a long time. And she asked me to make her coffee. Why is this not? Oh, I see. And I forgot, like, because it's been a while since I made her coffee. And I wanted the instructions, and she didn't want to give me exact instructions. I was like, I need exact instructions. Tell me exactly how to do it. I'm going to do it exactly that way. I don't make coffee for myself. I'm not loosey-goosey about it. I need this. I need structure. Give me structure. That was the whole reason for my point. It cost me $1.25 to fill my tires. It used to cost 75 cents. Prices of it have been adjusted for inflation. That's a good one, too. That's not a tired joke at all. You know, it's been a good year when we're talking about inflation jokes and filling up tires. This is where the rubber meets the road, my friends. Okay, so that might be a little bit too tiny. If I get tired of this, I could actually make it like a collapse. But so we'll do twice. We'll make it 50. 50 is probably okay. 50 is an acceptable size. So now we'll have a forward and back. I just opened some. Oh, I opened plastic. That's great. Options, fixed direction, speed, no change, whatever, set motion. Okay, so this is starting to get close to where we want it. I might just hide these IDs. Oh, wait, let me check something real quick, though. If I copy and paste this. Do I get... Okay, I get a new value. Okay. I'm going to start hiding the stupid IDs. I don't want to see them. And then do I hide parallel option? I don't think so. I can let this run parallel. So the whole notion of handling like an array of things right now would be more of a implicit, this is how the group works. So if I say allies, whatever I execute will execute off of a list of things. Theoretically, if I was doing like a proper system of dealing with I wonder if I can get rid of the width entirely. I think it might automatically squeeze it in there. I would probably do like something where I like have little outputs for each thing, but try to make this like contained-ish. Like. I don't want to have like, oh my gosh. Like has become my word. I don't want to have a system where I have to create a bunch of other nodes to handle different types of objects, such as an array of objects versus a single one. There, see, I did it without saying like. Maybe I don't need the width here. I do appreciate that Sorrow stopped harassing me so I could actually get work done. What do you call a man with a car on his head? Jack. But don't help him off the horse. You know what I mean? Oh, come on. It's so dumb. Why can't it be smart? Be smart. Do the smart thing. That's so dumb. Okay, wait. We can find a number. Maybe 60? I'm going to pick one more number and then that's it. I'm done. Oh, wow. It's 11:30 right now? Jeez. Why am I still streaming? No, that's not what I want. This is a different spot. This is the 2-actor one. Okay, I need to go to the non-actor. Okay, this is one. There we go. Try again. The last time. Last time I'm going to mess with that spacing. Help! I only know 25 letters of the alphabet. I don't know why. Probably poor education. Although if you put Y in your joke, isn't that implying you do know? What did my teacher say about double negatives? That's their big no-no. I don't even have the debugger running. This is like the asset refresh. That adds like 10 seconds at a minimum. Okay. So there you go. So we'll have this idea where we're going to offset the X and Y. I should make it so it's going to only be positive numbers. We're not going to do a negative as well. I get a little hung up about the configuration because once I do this, I don't want to touch it again. Once I have the configuration about where I want it to be, I won't be going back and tweaking the settings much because the next part I'll just be working on is the execution logic. Theoretically. Minimum value 0. Max value. What should be the max offset? Like 5 or something? It's going to do it by steps. I'll make it 5 and we'll see what happens, I guess. I don't know if it needs to have a minimum max, but we'll try it. I think this is probably a good time for me to wrap up. It doesn't feel very accomplished in terms of the actual like demonstrable work I got done. I blame Tech Workbench for making me talk to them a lot. Totally not because I like to just talk about stuff. But around this time, the next thing I have to do is like, I've got to really think about plugging it in and shoving things around. And it's all fudge buckets. What is this going? What's going on here? Oh, I think it's just because it's supposed to be, yeah. You came back to lurk. I stayed longer than I was planning on. So just sort of anecdotally, this point of my streaming when I'm like, okay, now I'm ready to switch gears and start working on code. And then what happens is I go into the code and say, oh, how's this going to work? How's that going to work? And then I start thinking, wow, I'm not making any progress. Oh, people are watching me. And so I just realized it's time for me to not try to do that while people are watching. If there ever comes a point someday where I can do more of this work during normal working hours, I swear I'm just going to be like, yeah, I'm working. Not going to talk to you all. Just ignore me. I'm just doing it to force myself to work, and that's it. I'm not going to talk. Not going to think. No, I'm going to think. Who am I going to raid? Is this person working on game dev? I think so. No, that's a... It looks like they are, actually. They're making their game. I tried to watch you according to the schedule on Twitch. Thought it was a no-show. What does it say on Twitch? Doesn't say I start at 9. I started at 8:40. I'm confused. I thought I had it from 9 to 11 or something. Don't I do Saturday and Tuesdays? Now I have to go check what the schedule says. Now you're really throwing me off. We should go see Video Wizard. We've never seen Video Wizard for a while. Or have we never seen? Let me go see if Video Wizard has audio. Because Visio Wizard. Wizard. I got music. Which time zone? Central time? I don't know if they're talking or not. Oh, it says 11:25. Also, in the next hour, I'll be starting on Final Fantasy for a bit. Okay, well, we're going to go raid Video Wizard. I might have raided him before. I don't remember, but small streamer. Nice person. Supports Alterium Shift. Yeah, I start at 9 no, 8:30 Central Time. Just so you guys know, in case you're wondering. So let's go send some love to Video Wizard, who is a smaller streamer. I'm not sure if he's got a microphone. I'm pretty sure he does. Working on a game. Let's go ask about his game. Tell us about your game. Looks like he's working using RPG Maker or something. I will be back on Tuesday, and I might have another topic to rant about. We'll find out. Thanks for hanging out, Tech Workbench. Nice to see you again. And Sorrow for all the chats, both of you. Fun times. Y'all have a good night. See you later. Thanks for all the raids. I got really raided. It was fun. Thanks, Pierogi and Stoff and Tunic and all y'all. And Bosch. Have a good night, y'all.